Hello, all you stallions, fares, and moles. Let me try that again. Hello, all you stallions, fares. My goodness, I can't get my words out. Let's try it again. Hello, all you stallions, mares, and foals. Well, welcome to Wild Thing Art Academy, where today we're going to paint Zippy the Zebra. I think this is going to be fun. I've never painted a zebra before, so let's see how this goes. There's so many straps on Zippy that I think we're going to take advantage of the white canvas and not put so much white on this zebra. And we'll put blue in where the blacks are and go from there. We'll just see where this turns out. So in your downloads, you should have the Zippy the Zebra template. Please download that, print that off, transfer it onto your canvas. And if you're not sure how to transfer Zippy onto your canvas, go to My Collections, then go to Fundamentals and click on the video that says how to transfer your image onto the canvas. Now this is I'm painting it on a 12 by 12, just a simple canvas panel. Please feel free to paint it on whatever you want to paint it on. If you have a sketchbook, if you have just paper and you want to draw it out, perfectly fine. Remember, Wild Thing is all about doing your thing and following your intuitive spirit. So let go of any preconceived ideas. I want you to just relax those shoulders. It's all going to work out just fine. The unique thing about zebras, I found out, is that zebras have a stripe pattern unlike any of the other zebras. So each zebra is unique, which I find fabulous because that's what I say about our paintings. Our paintings are each unique. So think of it as you're painting Zippy, that his stripes are as unique as your own thumbprint. So no other zebra has a stripe pattern like this one. So if you're painting along, you think, oh, I'm not following the stripes correctly, that's all right, because your Zippy has got his own unique stripe patterns. And remember, this is a unique expression of who you are. So let it out, let it go, let go of any preconceived ideas, and I want you to let your creative spirit come out and play without any judgment on your part. We were all born to create. So use this time to enjoy and create something beautiful. So let's get started. Are you ready? Yay! Okay, let's go. So let's take a look here at Zippy. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with my usual colors. We're going to start basing in the darks first. So I'm looking at the dark shadows. So you got in your downloads, if you're a member of mine, you have in your downloads the Zippy file, the photograph, reference photo. Now the reference photo is an AI altered photo. So just FYI, I've downloaded it on my iPad. I didn't go ahead and print it off. So that's the little image. And so what I'm looking at right now is I'm going to look at the cool colors in him. And then I'm going to look at these beautiful, they're warm colors, but for Wild Thing Art Academy, I'm going to turn them into pinks and oranges because that's what I do. You can stick with some warm colors. If I was going to do it in the warm colors and try to look like this photo, I would go with probably a burnt sienna, some golden quinacridone, orange, maybe a little burnt umber, and lighten that up with some Indian yellow. So those are the colors I would see if I was trying to mimic this photo. However, Wild Thing is about expressing yourself and letting the world see your art through your eyes. And so whatever colors you feel like you want to use, then by all means use it. So I'm going to turn those colors into pinks and oranges. So for now, we're going to go ahead and start by basing in the dark shadow areas. And I always do that with my colors. And I didn't say my colors on my canvas. This is Golden Brand Magenta, Quinacridone Magenta. This is Golden Brand Phthalo Blue, red shade. This is Liquitex brand Indian yellow. It's a warm yellow. This is Liquitex brand titanium white and Liquitex brand Mars black. You use whatever colors you have on hand. If you're doing watercolors or other different brands of acrylic, perfectly fine. If you want results similar to mine, just do like a dark pink, a warm yellow, a cool blue. Just use colors that are similar to mine and you'll get similar results. However, if you want to use colors totally different than mine, that's perfectly all right too. Let's get started. So I normally have a sound effect of the animal that we're working on. A zebra makes a barking braying sound, and I could not find a zebra sound effect. So we'll have to do without Zippy's sound. Okay, so let's get started here. I'm just looking at my brushes here. What do I want to use? I've got a scruffy little flat. So that's what I'm going to get started on. I've got my paintbrush wet just to let the paint create more paint flow on this. And I'm going to go up here and I'm going to start working on the dark area. So all I'm going to do is this little scruffy mane. It sticks straight up. So he's got a mohawk here, which I think is adorable. And I'm going to put that in because that's going to be in black. And remember, I don't use black in everything, everywhere that's black. I like to substitute the blue, but we're going to base all this in. We're going to work on simply covering the canvas. So this is a shadow area in his ear that I'm filling out now. So I'm simply putting in the shadows, the cool shadows. Now warm shadows would be magenta, and we'll get to those after we're done with this. So we're going to be putting a lot of blue in him, and I want to make sure I get this is his mane, his mohawk mane, which I think is adorable. This is a little strap right here. So look at your reference photo and just simply follow that strap pattern and fill that in, the black straps, in with the blue. And again, like I said, we're going to let the canvas, because I like a white canvas background. Feel free to make your background whatever color you want to create. But I'm going to use that background as the white in the canvas as some of the white in the painting. So we won't have to fill in all the white areas. Now, this is the edge of the canvas, so I like to get a little bit creative with the edges of my canvas where the image drops off, but I'm using a small brush for now, so I'll wait till I get a bigger brush to be able to add some creative marks. Remember, your marks on your painting are unique to you, just like the zebra straps are unique to him. Chair's creaky. Let me get it off the desk here in case that's picking up in the microphone. And if you have any questions, please feel free and ask. I love to talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing. And the variation in the paint color, like some of it's dark blue, some of it's kind of turning light blue, that just adds interest to the painting. So don't worry about that at all. All right, so we got the body painted with his stripes. We're going to move up to his face. I'm going to go ahead and fill in his eyes. If you followed me at all, if you're a member of my Patreon Wild Thang Art Academy, you'll know that I always do the eyes in blue. And the reason why is when I put the color on top, that blue underneath or the dark cool color adds depth. And I want their eyes to have a lot of depth to them. Okay, that way that can be setting up. I'm looking at the photo here. Like I said, the photo is AI generated, so keep that in mind. I've used a couple of photo references that were AI generated. I have mixed feelings about AI generation of images. But on the other hand, does it foster creativity or does it hinder it? I don't know. I don't know. I'd love your opinion on it and what you think. There's some black here in this. Like, I don't know about all this AI stuff. Some say it's dangerous and others say, oh, it's fabulous. And I have to admit, I've used it like I'm using it right now. I'm using this AI generated image for this idea or inspiration behind this painting. So I don't know. I haven't. A part of me says, like as far as writing, you don't even have to write anymore. You just put it into Chat GPT and say, hey, write this for me. This is the idea I want to get across. And voila, there you go. You've got your whole whatever it is you're wanting to write done for you in a few seconds, which would normally take hours. All right, this is where I'm going to have to be careful here. Could get lost in these stripes here. And go ahead and paint. Around his eye, they're blue because I know I'm going to darken that once I get in there and start painting. I love how the stripes too on this curve around his face. So as far as artistically, we don't have to do a lot to create curvature, the illusion of curves, and that's pretty cool. So just go ahead and fill in. And in case you've joined me on on YouTube and you're wondering what in the world I'm doing, I am demonstrating what I do in my Wild Thing Art Academy. This will be in there as a class. And one of the things we can do too is we can straighten up some of these lines with white once we get in there to start really working on these stripes. So if you've taken my class, you know that we go through all sorts of phases with our art. And I always say, trust the process, trust your gut, trust the process. Again, let creative spirit come out and play. And you know, sometimes we do just create a mess of things, or I do anyway. So that's all right. That's part of the process too. We live and learn, but nothing's really a mess. It's just a learning experience. Now, if you follow me before, a lot of times I start out with outlining all the graphite in the markings in magenta. But today I just dove right in and thought we'll get started on with the blue because we've got so much black. I'm going to go ahead and fill his nose in with a thin layer of this blue paint. Let's see, I'm going to take a look at his nose over here. This is kind of a warm area here. This is definitely warm. That little stripe on his nose right there is definitely warm. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill this. This whole area in with the cool colors there. Okay, now whoops, let's see, I left off this ear right here. I'm going to go ahead and just outline that and outline this as well. And I'm going to outline that ear. And I'm just using the edge of my little flat brush here. Okay, now I'm going to switch to magenta. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at the warm areas of this zebra, and that would be the little strap on his nose. And again, I'll show you with my iPad the strap on his nose, and I've got these colors really saturated. With them being on my iPad, it really exaggerates and makes those really glow. So I'm going to color in all the warm areas with this magenta. So I'm going to go into, and then when you put Indian yellow, which I will here in just a bit on top of that magenta, it's really pretty. And then it kind of goes down into that area of his nose. Again, these are all white areas in his mane that I'm seeing warm colors in. So I'm just going ahead and filling that in, because the great thing with acrylics is you get the ability to apply color on top. And so I want this to be a little warmer, and that will be peeking through the white once we get it in. And think about too the way, oh, and this one, because of the straps, we don't have to think a whole lot about it, but the direction of the anatomy of the animal that we are painting. And then I'm seeing some warm right up in these areas as well, in that white. Little warm. And warm area right in, as it comes out of the shadow in that ear, I'm seeing some warm. Same with this one. Okay, let's. And a little warm area right in that area. All right, let's look at his face. I'm seeing some warm right underneath his eyes, right in here. warm in some of these striping here. Some warm in that white. There's a touch of warm right here. I'm going to put a little bit of warm right there. All right, so we basically have our canvas covered. We've got a long ways to go, but let's go ahead and dive into his eyes. I like to do that next when I've got most of the canvas covered. So I'm going to go ahead, and this, because it is AI generated, it's not showing a pupil really or any color in the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a little bit of a pupil here because I know they have kind of an like a horse pupil. So I'm going to go ahead and it's kind of a rectangle. And then I want to make this this zebra's eyes brown. So I'm going to mix up my magenta and some Indian yellow, and I'm going to make an orange. And you'll see when we put it on top of this blue, that it changes the color from orange to a brown. I'm going to go ahead and paint that in. I like that blue edge on that eye right there. I'm going to leave that in. The horses a lot of times will reflect blue. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to re-strengthen that pupil just a bit. Just a bit. I don't want the pupil to stand out too much, but. And then I'm wiping off my brush and I'm going to blend the pupil into the color just a little bit, the iris. All right, now I'm going to go back into my black using the same little flat brush, and I'm going to outline his eyes. And I just wet my brush down just a bit so that the paint flows a little easier off my brush. And I'm using just the edge of that brush. I want to make sure my head's not getting in the camera way. Just like that. His eyelids are white, which I think are adorable. I'm going to have to really make sure I don't miss that when I'm completing him. Okay, now let's add just a little bit of the Indian yellow. So what I'm doing is I just cleaned off my brush. I have man reading glasses on. I went to Costco the other day and grabbed a box of them. Didn't realize I picked up man reading glasses. So I'm having trouble keeping them on my face. So my daughter-in-law used to say your husband has man eyes because he couldn't see anything right in front of him in the kitchen. So I hope this doesn't give me man eyes. No offense to you men out there, though. We love you. All right, what I'm going to do is just kind of create just a little bit of color in these eyes. And I want you to think about when you put your paintbrush down on the eye, the curvature of the eye. So we want to create curving of the eye. It's real important. So you can't really see it. I wonder if I brought it up closer. Yeah, you can't really see it in the camera. In real life, it's yellow and you can see it. So my apologies for you not being able to see it. And then I want to take, what else do I want? Now, once I get into fluorescence, because I love the fluorescence, and that's when it really starts popping things out. Once I get into the fluorescence, that's when I'll start bringing his eye out a lot. I'm going to go ahead and take some magenta. See if I can't deepen the color of that. I'm pretty particular about the eyes. I think the eyes are very important. So I'm going to clean my brush out. And I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put his highlight in. And then when I go into the fluorescence and adding other colors, I'll start bringing those into the eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and make a really light blue. Very, very light. Matter of fact, I'm just going to use the blue on my brush here to make that light blue, and I want to go lighter. So I'll just use the blue on my brush to and wipe some of this out. A little bit lighter. There, that's more like it. And I'm going to go ahead and create his highlights in his eyes. And you want to think about the curvature of his eyes. So they're round like that. And same with this one. Like that. And then I want to go ahead, while I've got this blue on, I want to go ahead and let's emphasize this highlight here. And then right under his eye, we're going to create moisture. And then he has a little bit of white showing right there in the corner of his eye. Same here. Softening that edge. I don't like harsh edges. And then I'm going to go back into my black and redefine this right here. Because generally the horse's eyes are darker around the outer edges. Okay, he's starting to look at us, so he's starting to come together. So clean off your brush, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add that highlight. Before we do that, I'm going to go into, what color do I want? The orange. Go into my orange just a bit, and I'm going to kind of bleed into, there we go, that outer edge of that eye, which you can't really see it in the video, or on camera rather. So now we're going to take the end of the brush, this right here, and we're just going to stick it right in the white. So just put it right in the white. It looks like that on the end of your brush, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that highlight right there and right there. Now he's kind of looking at us. So we'll go back in. We're going to stop on the eyes for now. We're going to move up to the ears, and then we'll move down to the nose. And as we're working on Zippy, we'll continue to go back into the eyes and bringing more color into his eyes. Matter of fact, before we do that, I'm just seeing this highlight is just a little too much right there. So I want to take some of that out. There, that's better. I'm happier with that. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move up to the ears. So what I'm seeing in the ears is the black. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a bigger brush because this is just too little for the ears. I'm going to use a wedge brush, this angled brush here. It is a size 3/8 is what it says. But it's just, as you can see, I'll lay it down so you can compare that size of brush. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put black here. And these ears are really hairy, so I'm going to just, and I'm not going to fill it completely in. I want some of that blue and the pinks showing through. And then I'm going to do the same with this other ear here. And I'm using kind of the tip of that brush, the edge and the tip, if that makes sense. And I'm putting that in like so. And then he has a little bit of the black outline. I'm going to try to stick to minimal. Try to do minimal work on him, and he's got tips on his ears, little black tips, and his black rims around his ears as well. And then he's got like so. So let's go ahead and move to the other ear. And again, this ear has a little bit of the black. And I love to leave that blue. I like to leave color peeking through. All right, let's move to this mohawk. Well, we're right here, and we have the black. We're going to go ahead and fill this in. And again, leaving color peeking through. Since I've got this black, normally I want to complete the ears, but since I have the black on my brush, I'm going to go ahead and let's work into his mane. again, I'm leaving color peeking through. So it's just simply applying this on top of that blue. So I'm just putting some black into the blue stripes that we put in. And again, as you can see, I'm not covering the canvas or all that blue up. I'm simply adding black to enhance it because they are black striped, but we want the blue to be showing through. And then we're going to be adding more colors to those stripes. So another fun fact about zebras is they can run up to 40 miles an hour when running from prey. So they're fast little guys. So he's starting to come along just a little bit more. All right, let's move down to his nose now. So we're going to go ahead and start filling in the shadow areas. Let me move my reference photo up so I can take a look at it here. And we're going to go ahead and put into his nose the darkest, like recessed areas of his nose. And then same with this other nostril. And it's real important to get the shape of that nose. And then he's got a shadow underneath that nostril there. And goes out just a bit, that shadow. And he's got a shadow right here where his nose. And another shadow right here on this nostril. Now let's move up to his little underneath here. And I'm leaving a blue edge because I like that blue peeking through. And this shadow, the darkness kind of goes up just a ways as it curves around. All right, let's move back up to the stripes since I started putting the stripes in. Okay, now let's start focusing on the nose. And like I said, normally I work on the ears and then first the eyes after I base the colors in. The eyes, then I move up to the ears, and then I move down to the nose. Let's work on this nose. So I'm seeing the band right here. I'm going to go ahead and put the yellow on top of that. That makes a nice warm and moving it down here. It makes that glow just a bit. And while I've got that color, I'm going to go ahead and take that yellow up into here. I want that blue and that black to have dried. And again, those warm areas that I was telling you about earlier, that I'm going to go ahead and put those into like this yellow on top of that pink. I just think it just really makes it glow. And I'm going to add some nice strokes there. And I got into the black just a little bit in that, so I'm cleaning my brush out, so I don't want to dirty that yellow up. Again, pushing my man glasses up. And I'm seeing some. Okay, let's move back to the nose, and I'm going to do make up a gray. So I'm going to do some Mars Black. I like this blue, so I'm going to add the light blue in there and some white. So the Mars Black and Titanium White, and I'm making up a gray. And I'm going to go ahead and do some highlights here. I'm going to go ahead and soften some of this here. I'm going to add a shadow where his head meets his neck. Just about like that. And then this side of his face is a little in shadows. And again, I'm brushing in the direction of his anatomy. Okay, now I'm cleaning up my brush. I can take a drink of water. And let's move back down to his nose. And let's go into a light blue. So I'm making a light blue with the phthalo blue and the titanium white. And I'm just simply re-emphasizing his nostrils. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to deepen that with the darker phthalo blue. So I'm going to use straight phthalo blue. So I'm cleaning my brush out and I'm going to use straight phthalo blue. I'm going to darken some areas here. And I'm exaggerating the curvature of this. So I'm taking my brush and going again with the anatomy. So he's rounding his nose rounds right there, although that does look a little bit harsh when I look into the camera, but that's all right. I'm darkening up some of these stripes here. And I don't like these harsh lines of the nostrils. So I'm trying to set them and recess them back. a little rounder. I'm going to go ahead and emphasize the shape of this nostril just a little bit better because it's not. All right, I'm still not happy with those nostrils. I'm going to come back to it. So I'm going to work a little bit more up here in this upper area, a little bit more on that brown part of his nose. And I'm going to add some more yellow to lighten that up. So some Indian yellow. So I'm cleaning my brush. Sometimes if you're working an area and it's just not happening for you right off the bat, move up and work on something different, and then you'll come back to it and have a little different perspective. Here. That's better with those eyes. I want to just add a little more color there. Okay. Let's move up to the ears, and then we'll come back and work on that. So I'm going to take some of this gray that we made up, and I'm going to fill in some of these areas right in here. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with white. So pure white, and I'm going to put the hair in this ear. So how I see the hair growing is it's kind of going like this around this ear, just like some of it's kind of on the outside, and then it goes about like that. Now this is showing keep in mind, I own horses, so I kind of, a horse, so I know how the hair grows. And the same with this. So we're simply adding the hair in his ears. All right, so since we've got the white on our brush, let's go ahead and start doing some white in this mane here. So see how that put the glow underneath that white, those colors in? And I'm leaving it pretty chunky on. Chunky meaning I like texture. And again, I'm going to take advantage of that white canvas board underneath. And I get real quiet. So I'm just emphasizing these eyelids that are white on him. They're so cute. And again, I'm not overdoing the white. I'm just adding on top. And I'm just going in and over that yellow that I put in, and I'm adding the white to that. And you can see that it peeks through that white and makes it look like the sunlight's hitting him. And I'm softening up this blue edge right there because it was creating a hard line, and I didn't like that hard line there, so just softening that hard line. And I'm simply softening up hard lines. So I was going through there and wiping out some hard lines that were sticking out. So let's move up back into the black, and let's re-emphasize some of his mane and some of his stripes. And then we'll see if we're ready to go back to work on that nose, and then see about adding some fluorescence. And his whiskers. Can't forget the whiskers. So let's go back into the black. And I'm going to go back up in here. I want to weten my brush down just a bit so that the paint flows better off of there. That's getting it better. Again, re-emphasizing the depth of the ears. Just while I was sitting there, I just felt the urge to do that, so I did. Darkening up some of these. The mane, still leaving peaks of blue. And a little artistic swap right there. Okay, he's starting to come together. Let's go ahead and re-emphasize some of these stripes. Kind of bring the striping back out in him. Kind of lost some of it. So just where I kind of lost just the sharpness of those stripes, I'm going back in and resharpening those stripes with my black, but yet being careful not to cover up the colors, too many of the colors. I want them peeking through in places. So anywhere you might have put in some white and it's kind of blurred the lines of your black stripes, just go in and clean those up is all I'm doing. Okay. Okay, he's coming along. Let's go back to his nose. Let me take a look at that nose. I like the colors in his mane. Let's look at that nose. I've got an angle of this nostril off, so I think I'm going to go in and light blue. See if I can't redevelop that angle like this. And then not happy with it. There's too many hard edges. So I'm going to go back in with the dark and see if I can't take some of those hard edges out of the nose, because it looks like, and a lot of people make this mistake that they get just like circles on their noses and there's no depth. And horses and Donkeys and zebras have a lot of depth to those nose. Usually their nose is curved a bit like that because this is an AI photo. I think they've got the nostrils just a little wrong in their shape. Goes down like that. It's getting a little better. So we're adding more depth to his nose. Okay. And then I'm going to let's go into the light blue and see if I can't. Again, take this out just a bit. That's a little better, still hard edges. Let me see what I can do. Softening the edge with some dark. Okay, that's better, a little better. I see a hard edge though, and let's see, there's where the nostril goes up just a bit. There. Catches the light there, catches the light there. I'm going into my white now to highlight the nose, add a little moisture to the nose, even though he's a zebra, and zebras don't typically have wet noses. It's just more appealing when you add a little moisture. It's getting better. All right, that's a little better. You know what, I think that's what it is that's creating the illusion that it's off, is that I've got that, let me go in with the black, this nose right here. That may have been some of the problem there. Okay, that helped. Go up a little bit. That's a little better. Let's go in and add some purple. And I'm going to use a dioxazine purple. Now you can make it purple with the pink and the blue. Makes a beautiful purple, but I'm going to do the dioxazine purple because I like it. Add it right there. And we're going to go into some of the dark areas with this purple. So I'm going to add that to the nose. And I'm going to add it to some of these black areas and around the eye. And it just adds kind of a cool look too when it's peeking out of some areas. And I'm going to add that to the mane. See how that's peeking up just a little bit with the purpley color. I'm going to add, yes, I like that. I'm going to add some of this purple down here in the shadow area. Just like that. Oh, I like that much better. And I'm going to just kind of drift that up. Just like that. Oh, that's better. That's better. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and create the shadow on the side of his face in that color because I'm liking that nice purple. Okay, I'm liking that. That's good. And then let's put some of that purple in his ears too. Okay, yes, that's pulling it together. Now I think it's about time to start with the fluorescence, my favorite part. So we're going to start with the orange. And I'll put both colors out. I'm going to have to. So I'm going to put some right here. Just a bit. And I'm using golden fluorescent orange, golden brand fluorescent orange. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the fluorescent pink. It's these little bottles like this. Turn it around. And we're going to warm up the band on his nose and the golden tones that we see in him. We're going to brighten those up. this isn't wanting to come out, so I'm going to have to open this up. Oh, no wonder it's not wanting to come out. Oh, do I have a, let's grab, yes, I've got another. This one was a brand new bottle, still had the seal on it, so I don't want to use that. I'm going to use the one that I had open. And I don't think it wants to come out of this bottle either. I'm going to have to, yeah, open it up. Yeah, so we're about to wrap him up, because once we get into the fluorescence, we're starting to finish him up. All right, clean your brush. We'll put his whiskers on too. So get a nice clean brush. Again, I'm using this edge brush. And I'm going to go into the orange first. So I'm going to use the orange, and I'm going to go ahead and brighten this right here up. Oh, yes, that's exactly what that needed. And you can't, too bad, because these fluorescents just don't show up the way they look in person, especially the orange, for whatever reason. I'm going to go ahead and do a little shine right there, and also right there. Let's pop it right in here. To me, it looks like sunshine hitting the animal, this fluorescent orange, and I just love it. We put the purple on this side of his face and the orange on this other side of his face to look like this light is coming from more from this direction. And I'm going to highlight right as you're going into that shadow right there. Okay, now I'm going to take some of that orange, and I'm going to go into the eye. And I'm going to add a little touch of sunlight reflecting in his eye. Just like that. Lovely. All right, I'm cleaning my brush, and I'm going to get into the pink now. After I take a drink of water. So I'm getting into the fluorescent pink, and I'm going to just give him some pops of color, mainly about where some of that orange. Pink looks real pretty, kind of emphasizing it with the purple. So I'm going to add that to this nice I'm going to add this to the base of the white. And a little pink in that eye as well. Just a touch. Remember, don't overdo it. Just a tiny. And I just kind of made that purple glow at the edges where the shadow's forming. I'm going to put a little pink. Okay, I'm looking into the camera to see where else. I want to put some more white in his ears and then some whiskers. A little touch on those eyelids right there. And some teal blue might be nice to add to the dark areas. So I'm going to grab some golden teal. It's golden fluid teal. And give it a little shake here. And just a little bit because I don't need much. And I'm going to drop down to his nose first. Give it a little highlight. And I'm just kind of popping out a little bit of that blue with this teal. See how he's starting to really come together, being vibrant, and I usually take some of this teal and put just a little bit, add to that highlight. Just a touch. And just adding little touches here and there near the black areas. And I'm kind of highlighting the edge of this face here with a soft blue, like he's kind of catching the light right there. And then that black will have some highlighted areas as well. Let's go with just right at front, and just a little. Like that. redefine that face against his neck. Add a little shine spot there. And then let's go back up into his ears and let's add some more hair. Add that, re-emphasize that hair back in. Again, I like lots of texture, so and I'm taking the white and I'm softening any edges that I see need to be softened, just to kind of give him blur some of those hard edges. Okay, let's put his whiskers in. So his whiskers, he's got eyelashes and they're in black. So we're going to take a brush. Let's see, which one do I want to use? I want to use this one, just a little tiny liner brush. And we're going to dip into the black. And he's got some, I'm going to go up here to his ears and put some, I'm really watering down my black. So I'm going to put some little emphasis up here. Just like that, to emphasize those ear whiskers. And then let's now do his eyelashes. Now, horses also have like whiskery eyebrows, so I'm going to go in and add a few of those in just a bit. And then his eyelashes. Remember, not too much. We don't want too much of an eyelash there, just a suggestion there. And then we're going to go and do the same thing over here. Just a little suggestions of whiskers or eyebrow whiskers, and we're going to put the eyelashes in here as well. I'm going to put a little bit more paint on my brush. There. Now, you know what, I think that's just too harsh of a line right here for his, let's redefine that eyelid. Okay. Still a little harsh right here. Okay, that's better. Now we're going to go down to his nose and put his nose whiskers in as well. So he's got little whiskers and I don't like the way the paint was flowing off the brush. So I stopped and I wetted it down, and as you can see now, it's flowing a little bit better now. And he has tiny little whiskers as well coming off of his nose. Okay, I think that's good enough for the whiskers. Let's take one last look at him. You know what, the whites of his eyes, I want to put in some white in his eyes. So I'm mixing it with just a little bit of light blue. If I can get it to mix, there we go. I'm going to add just a little bit of a white to his eye right here. Same with this. So now he's got a little bit of a white to his eye. Okay, that's better. That's much better. All right, I think we're done with Zippy the Zebra. I want you to take a good look at him. You know what? I see a spot. Once I took my glasses off, I see a spot right there that I'm not happy with, that I'm going to do some, you know what, fluorescent yellow. That's the kick. I'm going to do a little fluorescent yellow. Here we thought we were almost done. I took one last look at it. I'm like, nope, one more thing. Fluorescent yellow, and it's Liquitex fluorescent yellow that I'm using. Right there. Like the brush mark. And I'm going to add just a little yellow just to pull it in. There. I think now we're done. I just needed to break up that solid color that I had going there, that band across his nose. All right, so now we're done with Zippy the Zebra. As you can see, it goes through many stages, and Zippy comes out looking like Zippy wants to look, and we just our only duty as artists is to follow whatever our artistic spirit wants to do, our intuition, whatever you want to call it. We were born to create, and just allow that to come out and set aside your inner judge. Do not judge while you're painting. Just let it flow, let it go. And then when you're done, you've let your artistic spirit come out and play, and you have created something beautiful. And just like the stripes on a zebra, which is totally unique to that zebra, this painting is like your thumbprint or your stripes, and this painting is only unique to you. So congratulations, you just did something beautiful. So I want you to take a big deep breath. just created. You used your God given gift to create something beautiful. So, congratulations. I want you to sign your painting and then either keep him for yourself and hang him somewhere beautiful in your home or give him to somebody you love. But regardless, thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next class. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.